Hey guys, let's talk about last night's episode of Homeland. And the mission is on. And Brody and his cohorts are about 4 hours away from the Iranian border. And now they're just trying to figure out a way to get themselves across the border. And it doesn't look like it's going to be an easy task. I will say that this was the most action packed episode we've seen to date on season 3. And I mean, I was kind of on the edge of my seat the whole time. It started off, with the four guys just kind of talking and having a little light banter with each other, and then it gets onto a very serious tone for the rest of the episode. I'll talk about the things that I really did like, and that was all the stuff with Brody and the four guys he was traveling with. And the car blew up. No, actually, before that, we had some Iraqi police officers stopped them, and just right before they were about to get shot, they pretty much turned the tables on them, and the code word is good night, and they kill all three of the police officers. And so now it's only Brody and one of the other guys that are going to go off into the night to try to get across the border. And as they're driving, they're having some nice loose banter back and forth, talking about what they really wanted to do when they were younger. And one guy's talking about being from Texas and wanting to ride bulls, and he did, and now he's doing this. And then boom, all of a sudden they hit an IED, and the car literally splits in half. And we're not sure if they're alive or if they're dead. And of course they're alive. But unfortunately, my friend there gets his leg blown off, and pretty much Brody has to save the day and pull him aside, and he does. And then the other gentlemen come to help out, and that's when all hell breaks loose. And gunfire is going off like crazy, and we're assuming it's the Iranians and border patrol people, and it's like madness going back and forth. And of course, there has to be a decision made. Are they going to pretty much like nuke the whole place, or are they going to try to just extract them? How are they going to do it? They're going to send up an airstrike. Like, whoever's coming to help them is like 8 minutes away, and it's just pure madness. There's gunfire everywhere. And of course, they decide they're going to send in an extraction team, and Brody's like, listen, I'm going across. I don't care what y'all say. And they're like, no, I'm sorry. The plan is for all of us to leave. And, he's adamant that he's going to go forward with this mission. And then finally, Carrie tries to talk him down off the ledge. And this is when my eyes were rolling a little too hard in my face, because, I was terrified that they were actually going to go there and say, I'm pregnant. Like Carrie was going to tell him, and I was just going to be like, all right, guys, I'm out. But thankfully she did not. And she just let him, go on talking about, how he wanted to do this and how it didn't matter. He was going to do it, and she was going to find a way to save him. And I was just like, oh my God, that was my other eye rolling, that she was going to be able to come and get him and all this kind of stuff. And I was just like, oh boy, here we go. But fine. What was done was done. Brody takes off into the night. The extraction team comes, and then one other guy goes running after him. And the really cool scene was when, they're about to make a run for it, and the other guys are going to like shoot off his rounds to distract the other people. When they get up to run, and all of a sudden all these lights turn on, and there's people with guns, and it's like the military, the Iranian military. And quickly Brody's like, listen, my name is Brody, and I was the one who blew up the CIA, and I want asylum in your country. And he's basically like, listen, I'll do anything, but this is who I am. I'm here to work for you guys. I'm not here to do anything else. And so they take them as their prisoners, and they bring them across. So ultimately the plan is a success. Now, there were many moments during this plan where it looked like it was going to be a dismal fail, and Saul had even packed up and was like, all right, guys, well, I tried, and he walks out of the room. Little does he know his mission ends up working, and Brody is now in the hands of the Iranians. Right before the episode ends, though, Javadi and Brody come face to face. Now, Brody didn't know who Javadi was, so, as soon as he sees him, he, again, reiterates who he is and what he's there for, and Javadi's all like, yeah, okay, and he starts speaking, I believe, Muslim, and then he's like, okay, are you ready to come with me? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, what about this guy? And then boom, Javadi turns and shoots him in the head. So bye-bye exit strategy or helping with the exit strategy. And now it's just Brody on a one-man mission in Iran with Javadi, who we are to assume is a turned asset now. And I mean, what do we know? We don't really know what he's been up to in these last few days, more than 16 days, because that's how long Brody was doing his training for. So, but it was still quite a little thrill ride that we were on, and, we'll see what happens next. Now, there were several moments in this episode that made my eyes roll to the back of my head, and they all had to do with Carrie. I'm sorry, guys. I know Claire Danes is an amazing actress, and it's not about that. It is about the way they have decided to write Carrie this season. First of all, where is her badassery? Like, where is her tough as nails? I want to see the Carrie from season 2 who walked into that hotel room and played Brody and was like, you're under arrest. You are a terrorist and we are taking you down and you're a disgrace and you're this. Where's that girl? Like, I'm not interested in watching Carrie, her chin quiver every single time it looks like Brody's in trouble. I'm not interested in Carrie who flies off the handle every 2 seconds because the mission's not going her way and is like on the verge of tears. I'm not interested in that girl. And then the girl who's like, all smiles when Brody gets away. And it's like, hello, we still got some wounded soldiers out here. I mean, I just don't know what they're doing. Like, I feel like we are so disconnected from the Carrie that we met in season 1 and halfway through season 2. And now we have this mushy, like, oh my God, we have to do whatever we can to save Brody. And now she's gone to Farah and basically is telling her she's got to risk her whole family to save Brody. I mean, I'm at a loss, because I'm sorry for all you viewers who are shipping Carrie and Brody. I don't. Like, I mean, I saw the use of the two of them in season 1 when they were both playing each other, and it was brilliant. Then in season 2, when she played him up to a point, and they had that really amazing scene in the interrogation room where you knew that they were still bonded, but there was still Carrie still knew exactly who Brody was. He was a terrorist. He's the same man who put on a vest. He went into a bunker. He wanted to kill the vice president. He actually flicked the switch and it just didn't go off. He's still that guy. So, all this romance, like they're going to live happily ever after, blah, blah, blah. I mean, her saying, oh, Brody's not the father of my baby. Come on. Really? Really? I mean, did anybody believe that? I mean, whatever. So they're just writing her as this, like, woman that I am not interested in watching. I'm sorry. So all those scenes with her in the room were just, I was like, can we cut from her, because I can't watch her anymore. Other than that, it was a really good episode. I mean, even Senator Lockhart, they calmed down a lot in this episode. He seemed like he was actually on the team and he was willing to see how it played out, whether good or bad. So that was good. Quinn, I mean, what have they really done with Quinn this season? I'm kind of disappointed that he's just kind of standing around. I mean, he apologized to Carrie for shooting her in her arm. And of course, Carrie flies off the handle. It's like, dude, if you would just stay in the van, he wouldn't have had to do it. Like, sit down, girl. Like, you just need to relax. And, Quinn, I feel like, has almost like a crush on her or something, which would be fine. But, like, they just don't give us any information on Quinn. So I'm always a little disappointed whenever we get his scenes and we just don't really know anything more about him. All right, guys. I mean, as much as the Carrie scenes drove me crazy, I did really like this episode. I thought it was the best episode that we've had in this 3rd season. And I'm hoping the next 2 episodes that we have left will lead to some really great scenes. All right, guys. That has been my review of Homeland, and I'll see you next week. Bye.